Hey, it's Cheryl,
Hello.
and that is Dave. Welcome to CFCO at Home, another edition. Thanks for hanging out with us here on Wednesday night. How are you doing, Dave?
It's warm, but we're here and we're good to go with another really good guest again this week. Looking forward to this week's show.
Yeah, we are very happy to be joined by the lovely Kelsi Mayne. Hi,
Hello.
Kelsey.
Hi, Cheryl and Dave. What's going
Good
on,
to see
guys?
ya.
You too. Always a pleasure.
Yeah, thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me. Hey, I'm at home hanging out, so I would
Yeah,
love
so
to
let's
join
start
you.
there. Where are you during the pandemic? What have you been up to?
I am in Toronto and just been, laying low. Just doing a lot of live streams, doing a lot of videos, and I've been editing and recording a lot of stuff. So, um, yeah, just kind of blasting things out as fast as I can. It's hard to keep up right now, but yeah, just trying to just keep them busy.
I love that background that you have going on there, the wood paneling and the whole thing.
Thank you. My sister thought I needed an upgrade, so she gave me like a little early birthday present.
Nice.
Yeah,
Looks good.
it's not too shabby. I love it.
So, have you tried any new hobbies or picked up any new talents while you've been in quarantine during the pandemic?
Well, the last 2 days I built a shelf for this. So like this has been an ongoing project. This was like a little spare den that we had a bed in, and then we took it out because we're not having any guests staying over anytime soon. So so we kind of converted it to my studio. I wonder if I can turn this around here. It might be plugged into too many things, but yeah, let me turn this around. So I have this here.
Oh yeah.
So this is my room, but um, so this is what I built. I don't know. Do you see it? That little shelf there?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm pretty proud of that. I had like I don't know. I just did it myself. I had like a couple extra spare pieces of wood hanging around, and thought I'd make some use out of it. But that is my home
Necessity
studio.
necessity creates things, right? In the midst of a pandemic, I think you make do with what you got. And I mean, we'd love to have you in studio, but this is the next best thing. So at least we're able to have you this way too.
Yeah. No, thanks. This is a great substitute.
Well, because obviously, normally you would be coming into the station to promote your new album, As I Go, your debut album, which came out on March 27th. So, what was it like releasing an album in the middle of a global pandemic?
Definitely not something that I was anticipating or ever expect, especially as my first album ever. But the response was still amazing from everyone. James Benoit says, "Amazing album, thank you, James." And Ted says, "Hi, hi, Ted." I think he's a local there in Chatham. So, but yeah, it's something I never thought I would do in a million years. But you gotta roll with the punches, and I there was a point where I thought, should I hold off and wait until things get better? But I just figured, there's a song for every mood. There's every mood and feeling on that album, and I felt like it needed to be heard, especially at those uncertain times. And I thought it would be like kind of be a sense of comfort to people. So I hope that it's been that to people out there. But from what I've heard so far, it has been. So I'm really glad.
So tell us about the album title. How'd you come up with "As I Go"? What was the thought behind that?
Oh my gosh. So every part of that album, like there's just so much thought and so many sleepless nights, like between the order and the album cover picture and what songs to even record. So then when it came to the title of the album, I thought of doing like just like a self-titled album, just Kelsi Mayne. But then I thought more and more about it, and I figured my whole experience in this industry so far, like I went to school for nursing, so to be to make that transition and to change, um, the song says I'm gonna make it up as I go, and that's pretty much the story of my life. And and it's also how I've kind of like navigated this whole crazy music industry. So I figured it was suiting for my title for my first album.
Very cool. Once again, we are joined by Kelsi Mayne for CFCO at Home on Facebook Live. If you're watching this live and you have a question for Kelsi, just throw it up in the comments and maybe we'll ask you those questions a little bit later on, Kelsi. So we'll see what kind of questions we get from your fans.
Okay.
Now, as we talk about As I Go, that's the name of the first song off the album too. And we got to talk about that music video because it's so cool. So tell us about filming that.
Oh my gosh, that was just like the craziest, wildest 2 days of my life. We shot it over two separate days, and we shot it on a farm in Elmer, Ontario, so not too far from you guys. And it was just basically, so my brother is in the film industry and he's super talented. So all of my music videos, I call him up. He's the director and camera guy, and I'm the producer. And we edit it together. We edited this together. We color corrected it together. It's definitely a labor of love. I even made my dress for it. But anyways, we had like cars being crushed by big trucks, and it's the first time I ever rode a quad. But we had like this big kind of like, we called it like an army shot where we all drove over a little hill in the farm field, and it was pretty epic. All of us in a row at the same time, the ladies in the quads leading the herd, and yeah, just a bunch of trucks and fire and stuff. It was pretty insane.
All right, good stuff. Is that the? Can you sing that song for us? Would you mind?
Sure thing. All right, so this is As I Go. Been having 7 minutes and 13 more girlfriends since he said he'd be home, but he ain't yet. I know what he's doing and who he's doing it with. Oh, but I won't know till he opens that door. What I do next, maybe I'll smash his bottle cap, stare at his tipping I ain't sure. Maybe I'll wake up the neighborhood pool, carry on food on his board. Maybe I'll take his yard time off. Don't really know what I wanna do, so with my finger up, I'm gonna make it up as I go. Then I'll swear she didn't even
Good stuff.
Thank you. I got a comment.
Fun song.
We got a comment there. Brian Henderson, who I think he was on Truck I Sold was in there. Oh my gosh. So Eric, I have to give a big shout out to Mr. Eric Schneider, who lent me the huge truck in that music video that ends up crushing those two cars, and then he kind of led the whole project kind of started from him. So shout out to Eric Schneider, everybody.
Yeah, because so you posted like a teaser video of that on TikTok, and I just checked before we started. 2.8 million views now? That's crazy.
Yeah, and I posted a couple other shots from that shoot, and it was like one of the things got like 1.1 million views, and then so I think I have 4 videos on TikTok from that shoot, and so I think it's like it's over like 3 million views altogether. People really love the footage from that.
So did you have to turn off the notifications on your phone? Because that's the definition of your phone blowing up.
I have never experienced something that viral before in my life. Like, it was with the one shot, like that army shot that I was talking about earlier, with like all the trucks driving in a line. So that one was the one that went completely viral, and that got 1.2 million views in one day. So yeah, I had to just turn off my phone. It was insane.
I see you also post your dog on some TikTok videos. So have you been spending lots of time with your puppy during this time?
Oh, she is love. She's just living right now, and I'm surprised she's not around. But she usually comes, and when I'm like recording or making videos and stuff, she like comes and just sits by my. She's a little Chihuahua. She's like 7 pounds, so she just comes in and sits right by me until I notice her and pick her up.
Well, you're obviously a pet lover, because I mean, the Taking You Home video, working with the Toronto Humane Society, what was that like?
Oh my gosh, that was just an excuse to go and play with some puppies and some kittens and stuff. That was another great day. I've been really fortunate with like locations and for my music videos and stuff. So yeah, my mom actually came up with the idea, because I already had a video in a bar, and that was for Your Jolene. I filmed it in Windsor at the Bull and Barrel, where I actually kind of like got my whole start in country music. And so since I already had that video in a bar, I didn't want to do another one like that. So my mom had the idea for Taking You Home, going to the Humane Society, and it just fit so perfectly because our first dog was a rescue dog, and and then every dog I've had after that were like pretty much adopted from someone else. So so it's something that really it's a cause that I love. So I was happy.
Well, thank you, Mom, for that great idea.
Yeah.
So did you approach the Toronto Humane Society, or were they really receptive to that idea?
They were, yes, they were so amazing to work with. And so easy. Like they set up everything. They had I just called them up and I said, "Hey, I don't know, this might be a weird request. I'm a country artist. What do you say I film one of my music videos at the Humane Society?" And they loved the idea immediately. Like, it was just like, no, they jumped all over it. They're very sweet.
Now, do you know if any animals were adopted as a result of that? Were they able to let you know?
I did. So there was this one dog, oh, I forget, his name was like Igor or something like that, and he was 7 years old, a larger dog. So larger dogs actually have the most trouble getting adopted, at least here in Toronto. So he was there for like 5 years or something like that, and he was the longest resident there. And they actually told me after that because I wanted to feature him in the video, but they gave me a couple other dogs because sometimes his temper is he's a little bit temperamental, so they gave me like the easiest dogs to work with. Um, but he was just so sweet, and I remembered him specifically. And then they sent me an email like 2 weeks after the video launched, and they said that he was adopted. So I don't know if it was because of the video or not, but it just makes me feel so good.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's such a great story. So we also have to talk about too the fact that you're not just a country music artist, you're also an actress. So tell us a little bit about being in this movie Willow. Ted says he watched it and he loves it. He wants to know how it compares to music.
You saw. Okay, so Willa is a Stephen King story, and again, teamed up with my brother. He adapted the whole screenplay to the film to screen, and he also directed it. So I guess I mean it acting and music. I feel like I already take on a different persona, especially when I perform. Like, if you've ever seen me live on stage, I kind of become a whole different person, and I'm pretty wild, and I like jump around and dance and really get the crowd involved. So I feel like I kind of take on a different persona when I perform. So in a way, acting and my music and my acting kind of go hand in hand that way.
Well, and the movie has already won some awards, and I know it's still out there on the short film circuit and stuff too. So congratulations on that. Do you have any idea when it'll be out in wide release for all of us? Because as a Stephen King fan, I need to see this.
Thanks. Yeah. So we're working those details out because um, until recently we weren't allowed to show it in the public, but with all of this streaming thing and like all the festivals are now going online, so people have been able to stream them from home. So we're working out the details right now because I believe we're under contract with basically with Stephen King and his people that we can't show it yet in public, but we're working on it.
Perfect. Looking forward to it.
So are you planning on doing any more acting in the future? Is that something you would like to pursue a little bit more?
I think so, but my music has just been keeping me so busy lately. So I'm right now. I'm just focusing on one thing.
Well, I mean, that must be difficult, right, to balance that out, because I know some other artists have done that over the years, like Mackenzie Porter and whatnot too. But I mean, that's got to be a hard thing because it's taking your mind in two different directions.
Yeah, and basically last year I had to tell my acting agent that I had to just take a break because like literally just updating your schedule because she would send me to auditions and I'd be like, I have a last minute rehearsal or a performance that just popped up and like that's my priority. And so just trying to like always keep my schedule, which changes by the second, and updating her and remembering to do that was becoming too much for me. And so I just had to tell her, I'm like, I'm gonna take a break for this year, and and she was really good about it and really understanding. So yeah.
Well, you know what? I think that break paid off because you were able to put out your debut album, get that going, and you're nominated for a CMAO this year for Rising Star. Congratulations.
Thank you. Hey, what about you guys?
Yes, we are nominated once again for Radio Station of the Year for our market, for small markets. So yeah, I say, but it's cool for you, like Rising Star. That's got to be amazing.
You know, it's great to be nominated by your peers, and it just kind of is that extra reassurance, especially as a rising artist, as an emerging artist that's like completely independent. You know, to have that kind of extra reassurance by your peers, just kind of makes you feel like you're still moving in the right direction and you're doing all the right things.
Well, I know you're getting some airplay, and that's certainly, you know, helped to further your career a little bit. And before the whole pandemic thing, I know one of the big things was women in country music. Are they getting played? Are they getting recognition? Do you feel like that's starting to change a little bit? Because I think of some of the stars out of the U.S., some of the ones in Canada. I feel like the momentum is you know, getting more women played on the air these days.
Yeah, yeah, I completely agree. I think it's really awesome that radio has recognized that little disparity there, and then that they're acting to correct it. I mean, it takes a big person to do that, and like to realize, you know, hey, yeah, yeah, this is wrong, and we need to change our ways. And you know, it's been a pretty cool time to be a female artist right now.
Very cool. And I mean, it probably helps too that you have such a vocal and strong fan base. I love that they use the hashtag main train. Did you come up with that, or was that like a fan that came up with that?
That was a sign in the audience at one time, and I just like I loved it. So I was like, can I take that? And it's so cool when your fans actually like start to call themselves something.
That is fantastic. I had no idea of that, but you think of, you know, the different fan clubs out there. Johnny Reed's got the Tartan Army, and you've got the main train.
Yeah, originally it was like I came up with like main militia because I felt like everyone was like going to bat for me, and it was just really cool to have that kind of momentum, especially like with all the contests and voting things that I've been in. So, but main train is just like it's just too perfect.
I was going to say your fans have already posted on this live stream. Brian says, "Keep it up, Kelsi. You're doing amazing."
Aw, thanks, Brian. Thanks,
Kevin says, "What's up, kiddo?"
Hey, Kevin. Hi, Jody.
Yeah, so I mean, you've got quite a vocal fan base, which has to be really cool. So.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's awesome. I love it.
No, I want to talk a little bit too. I saw you posted about this new video and song that just came out called "Together We're Strong," which Kansas Stone put together. So, tell us a little bit about your involvement with this.
Yeah, well, Kansas Stone, they've been buddies of mine for years and years. So they just called me up and asked if I would be a part of it, and of course I just said yes. So I just hold up a sign in it, but it's really cool, like what they did with that video, and with the whole recording, and just to be a part of just to be asked to be a part of that. I'm so proud, and yeah, that song, I think we really needed that song right now, for sure.
All right, Kelsi, before we let you go, do you want to perform one more for us? Your choice.
Sure. How about In That Spirit? So this is a song on the album that I wrote. It's that like together kind of together as a team kind of song, and it was inspired by when I ran track and field at the University of Windsor, and we ended up winning 4 national team titles in a row. I'm still wearing my ring, actually, always do. But the way that it just happened, and everyone just coming together to overcome every obstacle, and it moved me, and I feel like right now people are coming together and rising up, and for the good of all mankind, and I'm so happy to actually see that happening in the world. So yeah, this song is called Nothing on Us. I'm gonna do something different here. Let's do this.
Wow.
Thank you
Love
so
that
much.
song.
Thank you. No, what was really cool is the University of Windsor. They called me up and they want to use that next year for their sports season. So we'll see if it happens. I don't know if we'll have a
Nice.
sports season, but yeah, I was very honored.
That's so cool.
Very cool.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Kelsi,
I
thanks
love
for
it.
joining us tonight. We really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me, guys. So nice to see you both.
Yeah. Now,
You
before we
too.
let you go, though, where can people find more about you? Where can they find As I Go, the album, all that stuff?
Well, just all my names. So at Kelsi Mayne, it's spelled like that, or it is www.kelsimayne.com.
All
Perfect,
aboard the main
guys.
train.
Woo woo!
Thank
Anyway,
you so much.
thanks for listening, guys. Or thanks for watching, I guess.
Yes, thanks everybody for tuning in.
Stay safe, Kelsi.